Well, hi everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and we are live on a Sunday afternoon, which means it's time for us to talk about coping with stress. And as you probably gathered from the thumbnail that I put up for today's broadcast, I had a bit of stress between the last broadcast and today, and that was because I ended up with cops in my house. I'll talk to you about that in a second. But first of all, just to let you know, our quotes for today. Well, first of all, hi there to Jeannie. Good to see you. Um, and uh, for those of you who don't know, Dear Mama Sal's not just me. It's a group of us who get together a couple of times a week, and we live our lives holding each other's hands and helping everybody who happens to listen to us and visit us, help them all cope with life a lot better. And that's why on Sundays we talk about coping with stress. On Fridays we talk about coping with feelings because we all have them. Um, so the quotes today are going to be about healthier eating, and that's fine. And I found a great quote, and it said this, and I thought, what a great thing to remember. If it comes from a plant, eat it. If it's made in a plant, don't. Now, I'm not saying 100% of the time. What I'm saying is it's a good thing. I think it's a good quote to sort of keep in the back of your mind, right? How much of the food that you're eating is fresh, and we're going to be talking about some health things in a second. But before we do that, a couple of things, and then we're going to talk about the cops. So first of all, the weather. I am pleased to report that apparently for a whole week we're not going to go below zero. Yay! This from this from somebody who loves living in British Columbia, Canada, because we normally get about an inch, maybe 2 inches maximum of snow in a year. And last week we got 11 inches. And I want to tell you something: 11 inches is not what we do well here. It was definitely very, very traumatic. Um, I want to remind you, hi Charlotte, good to see you. I want to remind you about the quote from Thich Nhat Hanh, and that was smile, breathe, and go slowly. It doesn't matter what's going on. If you can remember those words, whatever hits you, be it 11 inches of snow overnight when you weren't expecting it, or the cops. The thing is to smile, breathe, and go slowly. Hi there, Jody. Good to see you as well. So, for those of you who don't know, Jody is our admin, and Jeannie is our backup admin, and Charlotte, who came in as well, uh, is a long-time viewer from the east side of Canada. Before we get on to the main subject, just a couple of birthdays. It's going to be Erin's birthday on the 26th and Becca's on the 28th. I haven't heard back from Ginny to find out how she's doing with her move. Um, wow. Interesting. Charlotte saying, no, you don't do well, like minus 12 Celsius. It was minus 17 it got to here, Charlotte, just so you know. My pipes froze and all sorts of things. But it was minus 12 in Texas, and you definitely don't expect it to be that cold down there, do you? So there we go. Anyway, I haven't heard from Jeannie. So I'm hoping that she will let us know how, she had the flood and then had to move and all sorts of things. So we'll wait to hear from her. Hopefully she'll pop in and tell us how she's doing. The good news is it's only 58 days until spring or fall if you happen to live in the below the equator. And if we haven't mentioned your birthday, then and you're a regular viewer or listener, please let us know, because it means you're not on our database, and that will be really sad. Thoughts and prayers go to anyone who might need it for any reason, and you know that, especially this week for Nyasha, who lives in Trinidad and Tobago, and she learned this week that she will definitely lose sight in her one eye and will lose sight in the second if she doesn't have a cornea implant, which will happen sometime in the coming year. But you can imagine what a shock that is for her and how difficult that is for her to process. So any support you can give Nyasha, for those of you who are in touch with her, would be very welcome. I don't think it is totally unexpected for her, but on the other hand, we all know that there's a difference between totally unexpected and then reality. And the reason I say that is I've just heard, just before I did the broadcast, Yvonne texted me and said that Fergie has now um, got melanoma. She was fighting breast cancer, but now she's got full blown. Um, so our thoughts and prayers go out to her as well, obviously. All right, so let's get on to the topic of the day, um, which is the cops that came visiting me. Um, First of all, it was quite a nice day yesterday, actually. I was in Confetti Corner, which is what I call my craft room. And I came out of Confetti Corner to grab something in the kitchen. And when I did, I picked up my phone, which I'd had in the kitchen, and I picked it up, and something flashed across it that was weird. And then I thought I saw the word necklace, and I went, "What?" Anyway, and so what I did was I immediately went to try and see what was going on, and ended up in the messages. And sure enough, I wear an emergency necklace. My provider that sort of monitors it had sent me about 4 messages. And of course, because the phone wasn't near me and I'm deaf, so I didn't hear it going off, um, you can imagine how panicked I was. So I quickly phoned them and said, "Hey, everything is fine. I don't know what happened. I don't know what set the necklace off, but everything is fine." And they said, "It's okay. We're glad to hear you're okay, but the cops are on their way." And I went, "What?" And they said, we already alerted the cops and asked them to do a wellness check on you. I said, "Well, can you tell them that I'm fine and they don't need to come?" No. Apparently, and I didn't know that, once the cops are alerted to a wellness check like that, they have to make sure that I'm okay. In other words, they have to get eyes on to make sure I'm okay. Even if I phoned in to say, "Don't worry, I'm fine," just in case I had a second episode or whatever it was. You know what I mean? Make sense? So the next thing I know, there was a cop car. There was a cop car outside my house. I'm certain my neighbors were fascinated. And I was just starting to talk to the cop when a second cop car arrived. And I said, "Wow, it took 2 of you. I am so sorry." And I was explaining to the first cop, I have no idea what set the necklace off, because I was away from the phone. That's why I didn't hear it. And I wasn't doing anything that I was aware that would have set the necklace off. So he was very, very pleasant, I must admit, very, very kind, very kind to me. And I said, "Well, while I've got you here, it begs the question that I wanted to ask and never have. What happens if I hadn't answered the phone at the door?" And he said, "We would have broken it down." Which is the way that he said it, "We would have broken it down." I said, and I don't know about you, I was so grateful that I wasn't still in the washroom where I had been seconds before, because I might have lost a door that way. And then I said, I am really very sorry, but is this going to end up costing me? Because they sent 2 police cars. And he said, "No, not today." So I thought, but how many of you can appreciate that I nearly had a heart attack just from all the stress of it? It was just like, and the cops are coming. And, as soon as everything settled down, I made sure I wrote to all my neighbors that I know and said, "In case you saw or hear about the cops arriving at my house, it is not that I'm doing anything nefarious. It is because I accidentally set off my emergency necklace and they came to do a wellness check." And, because I said, if you didn't see it, you might hear about it from somebody else. That, did you know that, Sal had the cop cars there. And I must admit that a couple of neighbors got to me before I got the go button on the email. And I was, one of them was, of course, Betty Ann going, "What have you been up to now?" And then another neighbor wrote to me and said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." And I explained. And so, but it was an interesting it was an interesting time, I can tell you, stress-wise. And I just want to say that the good news is the necklace works. That's the one thing that we have found out, is the necklace works, which is pretty important to know, right? And so let's go on now. What I want to do is to I think my tablet is about to give up the ghost. I don't think it's got any memory left in it. I'm very upset. Let me just get those quotes somewhere else. Hold on a second. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about healthier eating. But first of all, not in a way of guilting anybody out. That's not it. Because I think you all know that I had a bit of a health scare myself about a year ago. Actually, more than a year ago now, a year and a half now. And I've been doing a lot of things differently. Yeah, Jody's saying, at least you know that the necklace works. What a way to find out. Yeah, I was very relieved that there wasn't an emergency myself, I must admit. It was just break. Oh, golly gee. Anyway, getting on to the next part. The next quote that I found was, real wealth is health, not pieces of gold and silver. How many of you, I'm sure Jody would agree with that. She's lost a lot of her health over the 10 years that I've known her. Jeannie's saying that she has ADT, and once in a while, when I am cooking, things get too hot and the alarm goes off. A couple of times a policeman has arrived to check on me. And I feel bad when I tell him I was cooking. Well, I'm certain you're not the only one, but yes, Jeannie, but isn't it good that they come? All right. It said, when a diet is wrong, medicine is of no use. When a diet is correct, medicine of no need. I thought that was interesting. All right, so let's talk about this a bit. I want to talk about baby steps, because really, if I talk about what is happening to me, as you know, I ended up with a mastectomy 18 months ago, and a lot of things have changed in my life since then. And what I find really interesting is I keep taking these baby steps, not because I have to, but because I choose to. I keep taking these baby steps to do different things. For example, I thought I would show you is that I started off with weights, right? And I was doing weights because you've got to rebuild. When they completely remove a boob, you can imagine that they've cut through a lot of stuff. And so you have to actually rebuild what muscles that you had there, because they've got to find new ways of working, all right? And because the scar went from here all the way under my armpit, because they took lymph nodes, you've got a lot of things that need to reconnect. And so I started off with these weights and doing exercises. I don't know if you know, but one of the most important exercises you can do is to stretch your chest out, because we spend so much time hunched over our devices, all right? And so stretching your chest out is a really important exercise to do. Rolling your shoulders back, really important exercise to do. So that's where I started. Now, I already had these because I bought these when we were in the pandemic. I remember that. So then I thought, okay, fine. Now that I've got to rebuild, and that those seem to be pretty easy, I then invested, I don't know if you remember, in these. And these came, they came like this, empty on each end. And then you worked with those. I think they were about £1 that way. And then you could add another £1, okay, by adding weights. And so these ended up just got to make sure I'm telling the truth here. Fully loaded, these ended up about 4.5 pounds each. Okay. And what I found out was that I could quite happily even stretch these out, okay, and lift these up now. Yeah, nothing's very serious at all. So what I realized was if I am doing that, then maybe it's time to go up a step. And so these are my new ones that I got Jody a couple of months ago, 3 months ago maybe, but I've just loaded them up a bit more. All right. And so these now, each of them is about 5 pounds each. That's quite a difference from the 1 pound each that we started. Were they 1 pound? What were these? Hang on a second. Maybe they weren't even 1 pound. Yeah, these were 1 pound. So now we're talking 5 pounds in each hand. All right, look at this. Isn't that amazing? And what I wanted to show you is now I'm beginning to stretch the back of my legs that have totally atrophied, through not being used enough and so forth. So isn't that amazing? All right. And if you told me I would be able to do that, lift, this much, and I got so many more weights because these are really fun. Don't know which end's got the extra one in. Hang on a second. So these, yep. You see that? You can just keep adding more. So I've got all the weights. So it's got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 extra weights each end. I think it'll take a while. But I wanted to tell you that wherever you start, remember that's what it is. It's a starting point. The fact that you start is important. And I believe the same is about nutrition. Okay, so I'm going to put these away. I will try not to drop them on the floor because they could dent it. And if you heard that, but that's what they sound like. Okay. There we go. They're out of the way. So I really wanted to encourage you because if anything, I would say that it has been easier than I thought to improve. Where did I get the weights? From Amazon. Yeah, where did I get anything these days, right? So what I will do is I will put the links up. Jody, if you could remind me to put the links up to them because they are, I want to tell you, I was surprised how quickly. And the other thing is this, I'm not going to pick them up again, but yesterday I was watching the tennis, and just while I was watching the tennis, I was just literally, hang on a second, I was just literally doing this for about 20 minutes. Okay. And it brings your heart rate up, does all the good stuff. Doesn't have to be hard work, people. Just move. Sitting on the couch doesn't do it. Moving your body is what helps you improve. All right. And so if you keep good food in your fridge, you will eat good food. How many of you agree? I emptied my fridge at Christmas, and now I am trying not to fill it up with junk. All right. What's in my fridge now is mostly fresh fruit and vegetables. So what I said on Friday was I'd put in an order. I watched a thing on Netflix called You Are What You Eat, the twin experiment. And I was so... I would say impressed with the information that they had, that I did something I thought I'd never do, which is I immediately went to my provider, my grocery provider, and started to order up some vegan products to try. Now, when I was discussing this, Jeannie mentioned the fact that her doctor, I think, or dentist or somebody said, if you eat an egg a day, you won't have gallbladder problems. And what I did, Jeannie, remember I said to you, the question is, what is it in eggs that was good for you? And I still haven't found that out. And Jody probably will start looking into that for us, because I couldn't find out what it was in eggs that is good for keeping gallbladders healthy. But what I thought I'd tell you, Jeannie, was I did look up to see the difference between real eggs and fake ones, all right? Jeannie's saying right now she has strawberries, green grapes, and watermelon. Isn't that wonderful? Great. So here we go. A chicken egg has 74 calories. I may need glasses for this, people. I've got all sorts of information for you in case you're interested, right? So a chicken egg is 74 calories, and a serving of liquid egg, the fake one, is 70. So slightly less calories. It's actually 1 gram more of fat. Total fat on a chicken egg is 4, and on the liquid egg it's 5. Saturated fat in chicken eggs, that's not the good stuff, that's the bad stuff, is 1.5, but the liquid one doesn't have any. Cholesterol, 207 milligrams. The liquid egg, none. So that's a major saving for me, because I have high cholesterol, or I take medication for high cholesterol. Sodium, that's salt stuff, 65 milligrams. However, the liquid one is double that, more than double it. It's 170. So you win some, you lose some. And that's what I want you to be aware of. The interesting thing is that a real chicken egg has 6 grams of protein, whereas the liquid stuff only has 5. All right, so Kez is saying, hi Kez, good to see you, by the way. Also, eggs had B12, because I'm very low in B12. The doctor told me to eat lots of them. Yes, so changing doesn't necessarily mean better in some things, but it will in others, all right? So it depends. What I ask you to do is to not count one off. Oh, well, if it's, got this, then I'm not going to try it. This is about, what about if you balance it? Jody's saying, I've been researching that issue of the eggs and the gallbladder. So far, I found nothing to suggest that it's beneficial to prevent gallstones. I couldn't find anything either. And in fact, I have read eggs can irritate them, the gallbladder. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So, Jeannie, is this a doctor that you still visit? Because if so, can you try, and next time you visit that doctor, can you ask why? What was it in eggs that is, because we haven't been able to find anything. It's interesting you couldn't find anything either, Jody, because I didn't realize you also were doing that research. It was just like, really? I got to have a look at that. All right, so Kez is saying, also I'm low in B12 because I'm a vegetarian. So have to have shots maybe for the rest of my life. Yes, and that's the whole thing. If you choose to go vegetarian, then the chances are you're going to have to make up stuff in different ways. And that's what we're going to talk about. Now, I got my first experiment, people. My first experiment was... Wait a minute, let me just say, the reason I did this is we got Lent coming up, right, from Valentine's Day through to March the 28th. And I know Jody always is very good about giving up things for Lent. And I thought this year what I'm going to do is I'm going to not give up, but I'm going to improve my eating over Lent, just, because it's a good thing to do, right? And so... All right, so Jody's saying she couldn't tolerate eggs over the past year, and so now of having gallstones, all right? Yeah, interesting. She couldn't tolerate eggs because of her gallstones, all right? And apparently the fat content was an issue. Yeah, and that's where we got to find out. these things. As I said, you're going to gain on one and lose on another. So what I found was the biggest benefits that were seen in women who consume mostly plant-based protein, right? Think about that, mostly plant-based protein. They were 46% more likely than their peers to remain free from major chronic illness and other physical and mental impairments as they aged. 46%. Think about that. Plant-based protein. Now, that to me was pretty amazing. So let me show you what I've already been changing since I spoke to you on Friday and how it was. First of all, I bought, I didn't know it, but Magnum, Magnum make a plant-based Magnum bar with nuts and everything. Okay. And so what I found fascinating was I tried one last night. Can any of you imagine my hesitance at taking that first bite? I want to tell you, after the first bite, I gobbled up the rest of it. It tasted great. Then what I did was I normally allow myself one of these every night. Okay. I don't know if this is a Canadian brand or not, but it's Chapman's Super Frosty. I'm not getting paid by them. So what I did was I thought, let me find out. These were pretty expensive. How expensive were they? $7 Canadian. $6.27 for 3. Okay. Whereas these that I buy were they're only 50 cents each. Okay. So here's what I did. I started to have a look at the nutrition of both of these. Now, what do you think? So these are Super Frosty Light ice cream. And they're promoted by the Dairy Farmers of Canada. So I thought, well, it's going to be pretty interesting to see the difference. This is what I found amazing. Calories, this one, 230. Not surprised, it tasted like that too. But this one, surprise, surprise, only 150. Interesting, right? Fat content with this was 15 grams total. This was 9. Saturated fats, that's the bad stuff. On this one was 9 grams, and saturated on this one's only 7. Carbs on this one, that's the sugars, 17 grams. This one, only 12. Protein on this one, 2 grams, and protein, only 1 gram here. Cholesterol on this one, 0. Cholesterol on this one, 15. So again, if I'm trying to lower my cholesterol, this would be the better choice, maybe. But this actually isn't nearly as bad as I thought. All right, Jeannie's saying, I didn't say eggs prevented gallstones. No, I didn't think so. You said that if he had an egg a day, I thought you said last time the doctor said to you, if you want to prevent, oh, it's not what you said. I misheard you. I thought you said if you have an egg a day, it would prevent gallstones. So, all right, Judy, but thank you. All right, so there we go. And I wonder whether, never mind. Thanks for the clarification. I appreciate it. So interesting, all right? I don't necessarily have to change my ice cream. That's what I found out. And therefore, I will save a lot of money. Yeah, Jody's saying I took it the same way, to be honest. I must have understood. Yeah, we both did. So sorry about that, Jeannie. But Jeannie, thank you. Again, I always like to thank you for these things, because when you throw these things out, Jody and I both ended up independently researching it because it was fascinating to me. So well done. Thank you. Appreciate it. So here we go next. If you want to improve your plant-based protein, the easy way, it would be to get this sort of stuff. Now listen to this. This has ingredients: pea protein, spinach powder, organic beetroot powder for color, organic brown rice protein, stevia leaf extract, organic kale powder, organic guar gum, and alfalfa grass powder, organic something I can't pronounce powder, rosemary extract, broccoli powder, pea starch, natural flavors. Okay, but it says, and this surprised me, it may contain milk, soy, and eggs. I can only presume that is because it must be made in a factory that deals with those. That definitely doesn't list them in here. However, this was interesting to me. What did it taste like? Because it looks like moringa powder. No, look, it looks like that. Okay. And last night I think I need to have a smoothie and try it. So what they said is put 1 scoop in a smoothie. I did, and I also added half a banana, which is my normal smoothie. And I also no, that's what I did. I used my normal milk that I would use. Quite honestly, the first sip was a little weird. After that, I didn't notice it. But here's the good thing. For 1 ounce of this was 7 grams, and 1 scoop is 3 ounces. So that was 21 grams of plant-based protein right there. Jody, did you say the goal is to eat 35 grams of protein a day? So I thought that versus an egg, which is 13 grams. So how about that? Expensive? 50 minimum. Even more. Okay. So I would need 2 smoothies a day, and that would actually just about do it if I didn't do anything else that was good. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have meat. Just be aware that, maybe a couple of days a week, try not to eat meat and use plant-based instead. So this is where we come to the real test, people. I also bought fake cheese. Dum 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 dum. How many of you want to know what that tastes like? We'll do it. Oh, first of all, I bought fake milk. Yep. Now, in the past, I have tried oat milk. I've tried almond milk. I haven't tried cashew milk yet. That's the next one on the list. However, I did see this. This was called Next Milk. And it's a fortified oat and coconut beverage. All right. Hi, Beth. Good to see you. So here we go. Listen to this. Anybody interested in the difference between this and good to see you, Beth. This and my usual Fairlife 2%. Okay. Cashew milk is delightful. I don't know why I didn't get it. For some reason, I got this. All right, so here we go. Calories in this one, 130. Calories in this one, 100. Fats in this one, 4.5. Fats in this one, 8. More fats here. Saturated fats are 3. Saturated fats in this one are 6. Carbs in this one, sugars are 6%. Sugars are only 3% in this one. Protein, 14 grams. Protein, only 1 gram. That surprised me. How about you? You'd think because it's plant-based, there'd be more protein. Not true. Sodium, 125. This one, 160. So what do we know? This one has slightly less carbs, slightly less calories, but again, this isn't necessarily better. How about that? We'll try the cashew next. Okay, so now then. I don't want to bring everything out of the fridge at the same time. So there are 3 ways that I eat cheese. I eat cheese slices, marble cheese slices. I eat block cheese. Okay. All right. So let me just get my block cheese that I normally eat. Yeah. So the block cheese that I normally eat. You had a stroke, Beth, and you. Oh, I am so sorry to hear that. So good to see you, honey. Oh, you poor thing. You got full use of everything back again after the stroke, I hope? Lost some vision and speech. But did they come back? I am so sorry to hear that. The reason I say that is I remember my aunt had a stroke and she lost use of one side and all sorts of things. But over the months, she did lots of exercises and got it all back again. Yeah, I agree with Jody. It's such a relief. Physical therapy helped a lot. Okay, so just keep at it, all right? Because it will slowly, bit by bit. You're still a ticking time bomb. Right. Well, thoughts and prayers. Jody, please make sure I'm going to put up thoughts and prayers for you, Beth. If that's okay. Is that okay if I do that after the broadcast? I think the more people we have praying for you, the better, would be my feeling. Okay, while I'm waiting for the reply. I normally eat block cheese and I normally eat red Leicester cheese out of England. Okay, she gave me the okay. So that's what I normally have. So normally, but what I found was 2 different cheeses. Oh, those are the slices. Where was the block cheese? Yeah. Those are also slices. Those are also slices. All right, but what I found was some looked interesting to me. Applewood. Okay, it's a creamy smoked cheese. Melts beautifully. Important for me. All right. So here we go. Let's look at the difference. This one, 120 calories. This one, 90. So immediately that's saving some calories. The fats in this one, 9 grams. The fats in this, 7. Slight saving. Carbs, no carbs in this one. Really? No carbs in this one either. Cholesterol, this one, 30 milligrams, 0 in this one. Again, if I'm trying to lower my cholesterol, this would be the better cheese to have. Sodium in this one, 190. Sodium in this one, 200. So, however, the price was really different. Where are we? Yeah. The price for the Applewood was $11, and it was $11 discounted from $11.49. Whereas this one, can't remember how much this normally is, probably about 7 or 8. Okay. So, how many of you want me to try this and see what it tastes like? How would I normally eat this? I normally would eat this at night with my Okay. Got to be a way to open this easily, surely. Hang on a second. I may have to cut it. No, I'm going to cut it. It's going to be quicker. So normally I would eat this sort of block cheese at night with some grapes. So that's what I'm going to do. And here we go. And to be fair, I sometimes have my smoked cheese like this, the Baby Bells, okay? Now, the first thing I noticed as I undid it was it smells very much like smoked cheese. There's a slight funny smell to it, but basically like that. So, let's see. I don't know why I'm scared to try it, but I am. I can't lie. It also feels a little watery. You know what I mean? It's got a, don't know what. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? With grapes. So at night I sit and I binge watch and I will have a piece of cheese. And grapes. Got a funny taste to it. Not bad, actually. Not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. If I had to, I could eat this. Interesting. Mm. I occasionally could eat it. I could actually halve it. You know, have half regular and half that, and know that I was helping my body. Not mad about it, but not bad. Cleanse the palate. Okay, Jodie's saying, here are a few of the main health benefits of vegan cheese. They contain natural high-quality fats and proteins. They don't contain colorants or chemicals. They provide microorganisms that are beneficial for the intestinal flora. Good. All right, so I'd give it about a 7 out of 10. 6 or 7. So this, we have that one. How many of you are glad that I'm doing it and not you? All right. Now then, what I'm going to do, I think you all know, I allow myself 3 ounces of dough made into a pita every day. That's 3 ounces of dough right there. And what I'm going to do, and this is a multi-grain sourdough of my own making. So what I do is every day I cook it. Oops. Got to show Jodie the crumb. She always likes to see the crumb of my bread for some reason. Smells so good. Betty Ann, my neighbor, says it's the best tasting bread she has ever tasted in her life. And I went over for coffee yesterday and took her a loaf, and it was almost an erotic experience. Anyway, so in here, I think I have some white flour, whole wheat, rye flour, I now add some psyllium in. That's good for the gut. And then I add quinoa, flax, and chia. And it ends up looking almost like a white bread, but it isn't. So every day, what I do is I will have that with a slice of cheese, normally marble. I couldn't find a marble, but I found a cheddar in slices. I think I've got to open that up a bit more to make it easy to get to. And I'll do the nutrition in a second. So, oh, there we go. So, doesn't smell nasty or anything. Just doesn't quite smell like cheddar cheese. Do you understand? It's just a slight difference. Okay, so here we go. I'll read that in a second. And then the other thing, I think you all know, I'm now growing my own microgreens. So that's what I would normally do, is been harvesting them all week. So they will go on top. Here we go. So this is, the reason I'm doing this is because this is how I would normally eat it. So having it on its own is not really a fair test. So here we go. Dum, 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 dum. Nothing wrong with it. Quite honestly, that is way better than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Is it worth it? Obviously, that's worth buying for me. Price, my normal cheese slices would be about $12 for the bulk pack I buy. This would have been, which is why I bought two. Well, this was about $5.50. So, quite honestly, quite close in price. Now then, I am actually stunned, as you can tell. Okay, the nutrition-wise, for the cheese, I normally buy 80 calories. This is 70. Protein, 5. Only 1 protein, which is why I'm topping up with this stuff. Potassium, 10 milligrams. Potassium, 10. Same. Cholesterol, on my normal one, is 20 milligrams. Cholesterol, 0. Sodium, 160. The fake cheese, sodium, 190. All right, so what you gain on one, you lose on the other. But interesting. And it tastes fine. Do you want to see if it bubbles up? I'm going to put it in the air fryer. How many of you can see that I'm actually quite shocked at this? And obviously it's good because I keep going back. And you know me well enough, I would not fake that. It just doesn't have a lot of taste to it that is off-putting. It just doesn't have a lot of... It's way better than I thought. Well, so, like it better than the applewood. I definitely could eat that. I'm going to put these back in the fridge. Yeah, Jody said, I knew by your third bite that you were impressed. I'm actually shocked. I don't mind telling you. Next one, people. Did you know you can buy fake sour cream? I didn't. So, the way I eat sour cream, and that's the only way I think it's fair to test it, is not on its own, but the way I would normally have sour cream. So, sometimes at night, I allow myself a couple of teaspoons. Oh, it's thicker than mine. Whoa, that's a lot thicker than mine. Like my brain. Maybe I won't do 2 spoons until I find out what it tastes like. Okay, so normally I would have some sour cream, and what I do is I hack some of these Chinese spices on it, which I love, which has got fennel, coriander, star aniseed, cassia, and mandarin peel. Really nice. There we go. I hack some of that on top. And then what I do is I allow myself a handful of these. Or I make my own as well. So sometimes I allow myself a handful of these. Otherwise, I have my homemade ones. Okay, here we go. Dum, 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 dum. Yeah, Kez is saying you can buy fake food of most foods. I was amazed how many things you can actually buy. So here we go. Nothing weird. Surprised again. Nothing. Doesn't taste weird. Jody third bite. You know, it's not too bad. It's not actually. Quite honestly, it tastes like thick sour cream. Doesn't have quite the bite of thick sour cream. Yeah, that's a dip. Right now. But is it worth it? Wait. Oh. This little tub. Oh, that's actually good. This little tub cost me $6. Normally would be $7. Can't remember how much this was. Probably less. No, not a lot less. So here we go. Let's do the comparison. Okay, in this hand I have the dairy. This one is the non-dairy. Dum 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 dum. Ready? 35 calories, 40. This has more calories, people. Fat. 1.5 grams of fat here, 3.5 in here. Saturated fats, 1 gram in here, 3.5 in here. That's the bad stuff. Carbs. Sugars, 3 grams of sugar. 0 grams of sugar, but it has fiber. This doesn't have any fiber. Protein, 2 grams. Protein, 0.5 grams, but we're making it up. Cholesterol, that's the one I'm interested in. 5 milligrams. Cholesterol. Excuse me. Zilch. Sodium, 30 milligrams. 70 in this one. Kez is saying, but what I'm trying to find is a little hard, but not to buy processed vegetarian item. Oh, God. Excuse me, I got a runny nose. So this is all about, I don't know about you, but any of you are finding this interesting? I hope so. So, not a huge variance on this one. Oh, don't want to set off the necklace. Not a huge variant, but it is tasty. Surprise. Did not expect to like that. Well, well, well. Look at that. It bubbles, people. We know it didn't taste bad, and now I've got toasted cheese. Yay. All right, last one. The last one I've got here is creamy cream cheese. Oh. Who knew? Benji. I normally buy Western Family, and this is called Violife. Yeah. Can't believe that sour cream. I could definitely eat that. No problem about eating that at all. Okay. Have we just been too lucky by heart? Okay, so this is the cream cheese. There is nothing vile about that at all. Third bite, Jody. Has a slight taste of something that I don't normally get in mine. Let's see what it is. All right. Contains coconut oil. I think that's what I could taste, a slight touch of coconut. Potato starch, sea salt, something lactone flavor. and then olive extract. Oh, maybe it's the olive. I want to tell you, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Here we go. Calories: 100 for 2 teaspoons. This one, 70 for this one. Fats: 9 grams. 7 grams. Carbs on this one, 1 gram of sugar. Carbs, this one, nothing. Protein, 2, no protein. Surprises me. Why didn't they add protein? Cholesterol, this one, 40 milligrams. Cholesterol, zilch. Sodium, 130. Sodium, 140. Definitely healthier for me because of the cholesterol, but where was the price? So it was pricey. About $7.50 Canadian for that little tub. And this was how many? 200 grams. I normally buy 250, and this is much cheaper, but not that much cheaper. All right, Kez is saying, did you know that soy products, etc., need lots of land and water to grow? Yes, but they, with all due respect, they are not killing the ozone layer the way that methane gas is. Okay? So the thing is, what I wanted to try out and what I wanted to show you in real time, because you know me, my facial expressions here tell a story. You all know that. And I would not have been able to hide if it had been gross. You know that. I would not have been able to cover that up. I am actually delighted. Of all of them, maybe this was the only one that was, not great, but not bad. So I can do this. Again, I'm not looking to become a vegan. What I'm looking to do is, what if I halved the amount of dairy products and could still add the protein in by taking the powder? Would I still be able to maintain my nails and my bones? That's my question. And the last thing I wanted to check was, now that I've had toasted cheese, wow, tastes like toasted cheese. Why am I so shocked? Well, bottom line, as Jody would say, if she takes the third bite, it's okay. Well, there is nothing unusual about that taste. It would be a mild cheddar taste, not so strong. I'd eat that. No problem. And the fact that it grills is really important to me. Now, over the course of the next few weeks, I'm obviously going to be making my world-renowned mac and cheese with it. Kez is saying the UK has a huge amount of vegan foods. restaurants, fast food items. You have to get to Australia. You know, what I'm surprised about, Kez, and I said that on Friday, uh, what I was shocked at is how many vegan foods there were in my supermarket. You know, I buy online, and I just went vegan foods to see how many came up. I was expecting 2 or 3. So many. So therefore, we know the planet cannot exist if we carry on eating meat, all of us, all of the time. I'm looking to cut out dairy and red meat at least a couple of days a week. You can see I can do that. I actually am quite excited that I can do it, much to my surprise. Wow. I'm glad I did the experiment. Now, even the milk, right? This actually surprised me, wasn't bad. It doesn't make my coffee taste gross. I actually like it better than the normal stuff that I buy. So that one is doesn't foam as well. So now the thing is, I'm going to try the cashew and see which one I like better. But definitely I could swap that out for half of my milk intake. Any questions, any of you? I can't believe it. I'm in shock. I don't mind telling you. Absolutely in shock. That is not what I expected. I expected to be all but upchucking. But it does confirm what I heard or saw on that video on Netflix. You are what you eat. You remember what impressed me so much was the woman talking about making fake cheeses. It has to look like cheese, it has to taste like cheese, and it has to act like cheese. So if you want to grill it, it needs to be grillable. And that was amazing. All right, so Kez is saying make sure when you eat less dairy that you take vitamin B12 vitamins, right? Because it's the B12 that's in dairy. All right, now I take a multivitamin every day, Kez. Are you saying top up even more? I'm not cutting out dairy, but you're saying, just take extra B12. Okay, I can do that. But again, you've got to look at that. So you're going, I'm taking extra protein. That's a cost, and it's a high cost. And extra B12, that's a cost. So, it's about, am I prepared to pay a little extra to be healthier? That's the question, isn't it? And I want to tell you that I actually don't have a reason not to. Because, yeah, it's a little more expensive, but I don't have to eat it all day, every day. It's just, a couple of times a week. And secondly, it doesn't taste any different. And I'm pretty sure that the applewood I would use in a cheese sauce, and I wouldn't notice the difference at all. So, yeah, I'm happy. I'm definitely going to be doing that. I just can't believe it, quite honestly. I'm absolutely stunned. So, hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please give it a thumbs up that I took the risk. And how many of you are glad that I took the risk so you didn't have to? All right, so Kez is saying top up on the B12 because being low can make you tired, sweaty, and out of breath, etc. Okay, good to know. I will definitely. What I'll do is I'll check with my pharmacy how much they think I should top it up to, because they have a full breakdown of everything I have to take. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and I am pretty sure this was not put on. This was not an act. I was really scared. I don't mind telling you. I was really scared that I was not going to like the taste of anything. I want to tell you, this lot will probably be gone in the week. I mean, I've actually got quite a bit of cheese on hand. So, over the next couple of weeks, so I am very impressed. Very impressed. So there we go, people. Every now and then, but it's not the be all and end all. For me, if it lowers my cholesterol, it's a good thing. But I also need to be aware of the increased sodium. But I don't eat a lot of sodium. All right. Funny enough, the reason I only have these a couple of times a week is because of the sodium content. So, I'm pretty aware of my sodium intake. I don't add salt to my food when I cook it, but I eat a lot of cheese, and that's sodium. So, um, yeah, thumbs up on that one. This is DearMamaSal saying, thank you for being here. Yeah, Jody's saying there's so many vegan choices now. There's something for everyone. Absolutely. Now, I'm not big into gorgonzola and those heavy cheese. I know Jeannie is. So, it'd be interesting, Jeannie, if you feel brave, maybe try and see if you can find some fake gorgonzola or fake Stilton. I think Stilton's the one that you like. And see, how does it taste? It's just, I am pleasantly surprised. This is DearMamaSal saying, I'm going to enjoy my binge watching tonight because I've got so many choices now. Wow. Thank you for being here. Jody, thank you for being our admin. Jeannie, thank you for backing Jody up. And to the rest of you, thank you for being here. And Beth, I am so glad to hear you're okay. Very, very sad to hear that you had a stroke, although it doesn't totally surprise me, to be quite honest, because you are inclined to really work very, very hard and not rest. So please look after you for us, because we are all better people for knowing you, Beth. And I'd like to keep it that way. And so when you look at things, how many of you know the quote, do the, feel the fear, but do it anyway? That definitely was me today. The last quote I have, sorry, there is no magic bullet. You got to eat healthy and live healthy to be healthy and to look healthy. End of story. I am actually stunned how much I've changed in the last few years. And the fact that I feel willing to try the next step is the most important. And this is about me. It doesn't make anybody else less than because they don't want to do it. This is about, I want to do it for me. I want to continue to be healthier in whatever small way I can without messing with my whole way of life. This is DearMamaSal saying, if you care to join me, that would be great. And if you don't, I understand. This is like change takes a lot of time, and I've had quite a bit of time in my life. Change sometimes is necessary, as Jody knows, and sometimes it's because it's really just the right time to do it. This is DearMamaSal saying, not all change is good. As we found out, not changing to just vegan products doesn't mean that you don't have some bad stuff. You do. Your choice, what you do, not mine. This is DearMamaSal saying, have a wonderful week. It's going to rain like mad this week. I have never been so pleased in my life. We've nearly got rid of a foot of snow. I love the rain. Bye-bye for now.